Alright, so this is a really tough problem because the exponents are hard to deal with, they're fractions. But if you follow your properties of exponents, the top becomes x to the negative 1/3 plus 1/6. You need a common denominator, so multiply top and bottom by 2, and you get negative 1/6. And then the bottom, 1/4 plus negative 1/2. You need a common denominator, so multiply the top and the bottom by 2. You get negative 1/4. And that's all raised to the negative 1/3. Okay, now I'm going to move this to the top, so it's x to the negative 1/6 times x to the positive 1/4. And when you multiply like bases, you add the exponents. So now I'm going to simplify it by adding negative 1/6 plus 1/4. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this one by 3, and top and the bottom of this one by 2. And that gives me positive 1/12. And then I'll raise to the negative 1/3, so it gives me x to the negative 1/36. So negative 1/36 is the right answer. Okay, so then the next one is 33, another exponent problem. It wants the coefficient in front and the coefficient on the top, or the exponent on the top and the bottom when you're all done. So basically, it's asking you to simplify and then give the important parts of the expression after you've simplified it. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to first of all rewrite. Let's see. I'm going to try to rewrite this as 4t to the 4th over s to the 5th raised to the 3/2 over 8 s to the 4th over t squared raised to the 2/3. And I'm going to bring this exponent down to everything. So 4 raised to the 3/2, so it gives you 8. T to the 3/2 times 4 gives you 6. And then 5 times 3/2 gives you 15/2. And that's all over. And I'm going to do the same thing in the bottom here. This is 2/3. So I'm going to bring the 2/3 down to everything. So 8 to the 2/3 gives you, all right, so that gives you 4. And then 4 times 2/3 gives you 8/3. So the s to the 8/3 divided by t to the 4/3. Okay. Now, dividing by this fraction is the same as first of all, this 4 goes in its 8 2 times, so I can simplify that. Okay, so I have 2. And then instead of dividing by this fraction, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by s to the 8/3 over t to the 4/3 instead. And that moves that to the top. So now I'm going to rewrite it as 2. I'll do t to the 6th over t to the 4/3. So I'll just change the order. I'll move these two. Times s to the 8/3 divided by s to the 15/2. All right, now I can follow my properties of exponents that say when you're dividing, you subtract. So it's 6 minus 4/3. I'm going to get a common denominator. So that'd be 18 over 3 if you multiply top and bottom by 3. So that'd be 14/3. And then 8/3 minus 15/2. Multiply top and bottom by 3 here. So that gives me 45 over 6. Multiply top and bottom by 2, and it gives me 16 over 6. So that'd be negative 29. S to the negative 29 over 6. Okay, let's see if that's the answer. What it wants is the coefficient, so n would be 2, a would be 14/3, and b would be negative 29 over 6. I made a mistake right in this step right here. When I moved this to the top, I said I was going to flip it, but I didn't. Right here, I moved it up and kept it the same. When you move to the numerator, it should be reciprocated. So this should have been t over 6 times t to the 4 thirds. And at the bottom you have s to the 15 halves. And then this would have went to the bottom, so then s to the 8 thirds. So now that's what I should have did right there. Sorry about that. So then t to the 6 times t to the 4 thirds, when you multiply like bases, you add the exponents, so it should have been 6 plus 4 thirds. So multiply top and bottom by 3. 18 over 3 gives 22 over 3. 22 over 3. And then the bottom, 15 plus 8 thirds. 15 plus 8 thirds. Get a common denominator, multiply top and bottom by 3. And that gives us 53 thirds. Okay, so that should be, they want the exponent here, here, and there. So it should be 2 22 thirds and 53 thirds. Let's try that real quick. I forgot the halves right here. These little errors can get you right here. It's 15 halves, and for some reason I just didn't write that down there. So it's 15 halves plus 8 thirds. This should have been 15 over 2. It's 8 thirds. So I multiply top and bottom by 3. 45 over 6. Top and bottom by 2. 16 over 6. And you get 61 over 6. It should be 61 over 6. It's very easy to make mistakes like that, especially if you're trying to hurry. All right, here's 34, the next question. It wants us to simplify this to x and y and give the exponents on them. All right, so one thing you have to realize is that the square root is really a 1/2 power. So I'm going to change this to x to the 4th, y to the 3rd, raised to the 1/2 power. Same thing here. The cube root is really a 1/3 power. So I'm going to change this to x to the 4th, y squared to the 1/3 power. And the 5th root is really a 1/5 power. So it's really x squared to the 1/5 power. Now I'm going to carry this exponent through. So x to the 4th times 1/2 gives me x squared. And that'd be y to the 3/2 times, I'm dropping the parentheses now too, 4 thirds, 2 thirds, and then 2/5. And now I can rewrite the order, so I can just do the x's first, because order doesn't matter when everything's being multiplied, so order doesn't matter. X squared times x to the 4 thirds times x to the 2/5, and then the y's, so y to the 3/2 times y to the 2 thirds. All right, so I'm going to do x's. When I multiply, I add. So I need 2 plus 4 thirds plus 2/5. You can do this in your calculator, but I would strongly recommend not using the calculator as much as possible. We talked about. I know it's easier to make a mistake, but let's see. Common denominator between 3, 5, and 1 would be 15. So I'm going to multiply top and the bottom of this one by 3. Top and the bottom of this one by 5. And top and the bottom of this one by 15. So I have 30 plus 20, 56 over 15. So x to the 56 over 15 times, and then 3/2 plus 2 thirds for y. Multiply top and bottom of this one by 3. Top and bottom of this one by 2. And I have 13 over 6. Cool. Yeah, so those are the right answers. All right. The next problem then, says express your final result using positive rational exponents. So we're going to make this 2. A 4th root, if you remember from algebra 2, is really just a 1/4 power. So I'm going to make that 4th root a 1/4 power, and I'm going to distribute it. So it's 2a to the 1/4, b to the 5/4. And we're going to have to enter that in, obviously using carets. 2a caret 1/4, and so on. b 5/4 caret. All right, next problem then. Wants you to multiply this out. So first times first gives you 4x, because the square root of x times the square root of x is the square root of x squared, which is just x. All right. Now, middle terms are going to cancel. Anytime you have the same thing but a different sign, middle terms will always cancel. So I do last times last, which is negative 25y. That's what we enter in. Next one. I want to simplify this, getting rid of all negative exponents. So I'm going to distribute to 3 each of these. So I'm going to start with 4 to the third. 4 to the third gives you 64. This is a, 3 times 3 is 9. You multiply, right? This is b to the negative 9. Same thing here. Negative 3 to the negative 2 it's really 1 over negative 3 squared, which is really 1 over 9. Times a to the negative 1 times negative 2 is a squared. And then b to the negative 2 times negative 2 is b to the 4th. Now order doesn't matter, so I'm going to do 64 divided by 9. And, well, actually, I'm going to leave that at 64 over 9 because it doesn't simplify. And then a to the 9th times a squared is a to the 11th. I'm going to move this b to the bottom. If you move it to the bottom, like right here, for example, because order doesn't matter when you're multiplying. You can just switch the order up. So I can move it to the bottom, move it over here. 4 minus 9 is a negative 5. So it's b to the negative 5th. Or actually in the bottom, I'll just make it b to the positive 5th. This is actually what I need to enter in. I would enter in like this: 64a to the caret 11 divided by, in parentheses, 9b to the caret 5. That should work fine. The next problem is pretty easy because anything to the 0th power is just 1. So next answer should just be 1. Pretty easy.